It clears up my path for me now because I know what comes with these mistakes. Where I'm at in my career, I just want to keep going forward. I don't want to get backtracked. To get over that hump of keep making mistakes, I had to change my mindset. I'm fighting Anthony Yarde November 22nd in Riyadh to beat Anthony Yarde.
When all the cameras go away, when the girls disappear, when your boys go out and get married or whatever, it's just you. You're gonna look in the mirror. Who are you? Are you able to look in the mirror and say, yeah, I know that person? Is it hard to stay positive sometimes? Yes, but I'm still here, still positive. And I feel like what makes it easier for me is not caring or not giving in too much about what other people are saying.
David Benavidez has flipped the switch, and what's brewing in his camp right now feels less like preparation and more like a hunt. Working under the guidance of his father and mentor, Jose Benavidez Sr., David Benavidez is determined to make a lasting mark in boxing history this time around. His opponent, Anthony Yarde, stands in his way, but the confidence his father shows in his improvements says everything about how motivated Benavidez is to deliver a spectacular performance.
David's looking strong, sharper, motivated, and reflexes are great. Speed, power, and everything that counts with boxing, right on point. I'm enjoying the camp, and I'm motivated. Perfect timing for Sam Aaron to be with us.
245, but I feel proud of that one, I ain't gonna lie.
As his father introduces Sam Aaron, who's closely monitoring every small detail to ensure David Benavidez is fully prepared for the hunt, the focus in camp is crystal clear. He explained the intense gym work being put into this preparation, and just like Benavidez himself describes his training routines, it's evident he's transforming into a beast, sharpening new techniques and adding more power to his arsenal. With that, he looks more than ready to make a statement.
My job is overlooking everything, making sure how much work do we do? I need more stretching. I need more massage. I got to set up the cold plunge. It's the little details. Pick up the foot. Really get a good distance. Stay low. So we constantly communicate back. The role is not just necessarily just training inside, but also zooming out and to be able to be like what was done, because the little details sometimes make a big difference.
The way I start my day, I wake up every day, 4:30 a.m., get my prayers in. That gives me the energy, the motivation that I need to take into my day. We'll get a run in, we'll eat 4 eggs after, maybe a tomato, eat a bowl of oatmeal. Come into the boxing gym, we'll get like a 3-hour training session. After that, we'll do 8 ounces of fish, a cup of rice, and vegetables. Then we try to do some recovery, hyperbaric chamber, cryo chamber.
David Benavidez, who has dominated the super middleweight division for over a decade, admits he feels more like a natural light heavyweight. His training coach, Sam Aaron, shared that he's been working with Benavidez since his childhood and has watched him evolve into a far more complete and dangerous fighter. This time, Aaron promised Benavidez is going to hit differently. It was a cold warning for Anthony Yarde to prepare for something he's never faced before, because what's coming his way isn't just any other opponent, it's the Mexican monster.
Doing some things called contrast training, which is a heavy load, either for upper or lower, right away combined with some explosive movement. I took David shots since he's like a young kid. I swear to you, they're different. Straight through. They're different. I trained him for any age you can think of. Today, that is different.
Them saying that my power is not carried over, it's a little funny because after the fight, you see these guys, they're all beat up. They know I got power. I was at super middleweight for almost 10 years. I'm more naturally a light heavyweight than a super middleweight. The weight cut at training camp, it's not fun for anybody. You do something called water manipulation, 1.5 gallons. On the Sunday it starts, Monday will be 1 gallon.
David Benavidez's training is on another level right now. Every punch he throws lands like a hammer, each one testing his power and precision. He's pushing himself beyond limits, refining his skills, and turning every drill into a showcase of strength and technique. Watching him in the gym, it's clear he's not just training, he's building a force that's ready to dominate in the ring.
5 seconds. Let's go. Five more. 2 more. 1 more.
Meanwhile, his opponent Anthony Yarde isn't taking anything lightly either. He's pushing himself to the limit to make sure that when the Mexican monster steps into the ring, he truly feels the difference this time. His head coach, Tunde Ajayi, describes Yarde's preparation as phenomenal, noting that Yarde trains with military-like discipline and carries the power of a beast within him. This time, Yarde is preparing for war, and every aspect of his training has been taken to the next level.
Regimental and what have you, and it works for them. We have fun, and I feel like we learn more having fun.
The thing that I get from Tunde the most is always keeping your eye on the ball. I've never ever met somebody in my life who's so obsessed with boxing. Before he goes to bed, when he wakes up, it's like it's an extreme obsession, and then when I see that has a bounce on it.
Anthony Yarde knows exactly what this opportunity means, and he's ready to dominate no matter what it takes. Speaking ahead of the fight, he emphasized that he's not just excited but fully motivated to showcase his power against David Benavidez. His coach believes they've already made an impact in the past, and this time they're determined to set a statement and make their mark against the Mexican monster.
And the example that we've set for so many inner city kids, we've already won.
And here's the main event. You're going to be fighting on the world stage, you're going to be headlining big boxing cards, fighting for world titles. It just seemed unrealistic in the beginning. And then when you're actually seeing it play out, it's like, wow, it's actually happening.
This is Anthony Yarde and David Benavidez. But we're talking about winning the belts, and everyone will see how the styles will match up on the night.
And just days ahead of the showdown, Anthony Yarde turned heads in camp this week by dominating an intense punch-back competition, sending a clear message ahead of his world title clash with David Benavidez. Every strike showcased his raw power, precision, and conditioning, proving that he's taking his preparation to the next level. It wasn't just a workout, it was a statement that Yarde is hungry, focused, and ready to hit like never before when he steps into the ring against the Mexican monster. Callum Smith has shared his thoughts on the clash between David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde, giving fans a glimpse of how top fighters view the matchup. He praised Benavidez as a strong, exciting fighter with the skills to dominate at the highest level, but also noted that he leaves openings for clever opponents, a sign that Yarde could exploit if he's at his best. Smith sees this fight as a fascinating stylistic matchup, with Benavidez's raw power and aggression going head-to-head with Yarde's disciplined, explosive approach.
Yeah, it's a good fight. Look, I think Yarde's shown he can fight when the chips are down, but I don't know, I do favour Benavidez. I think he's getting better and better as the fight's going on. I think 175 probably suits him a little bit more than 168, and I don't know, I think stylistically the pace he sets and the punch outputs is probably the wrong style for someone like Yarde, but no, it's a good fight, and again one that I'll pay close attention to, because I'll hopefully fight the winner somewhere down the line.
And with that, even the pros are warning David Benavidez about a fighter willing to accept the challenge when so many big names have turned him down. His trainer remains confident in his ability to deliver a spectacular performance, but Simon Jordan adds another perspective. He believes Benavidez is facing one of the toughest opponents of his career. What Yarde is bringing to the table is no easy task. He's built differently, prepared to take on anyone, and ready to push Benavidez to his absolute limits.
Every fighter turned down David Benavidez, including Bivol, including Benavidez, including Joshua Boatse, including Callum Smith. At the first call, David Benavidez's dad said it. Within 5 minutes, Turki Al-Sheikh asks Anthony, does he want the fight? And guess what? The fight was made. So Ant is there, Spence, and he always has been there. He's a fighter through and through.
That's good to hear, Tunde. That's good to hear. Simon, here's the thing. Anthony Yarde, when he's fought the likes of Kovalev and Benavidez, he, as Tunde has alluded to, he's not afraid to go in there. And he's had some big moments against big opponents. Is he world level?
Yeah, of course he is. Of course he's world level. He's been, but the thing with, and Tunde and I will disagree on this, he's been a gallant loser.
On the other hand, Benavidez has spoken on the fight, calling it one of the most tremendous matchups of the year and even suggesting it's a 50-50 contest. He went on to explain that the path to victory is balanced, as both fighters possess exceptional skills and abilities that make the outcome unpredictable. Regardless of who comes out on top, he is certain that anyone stepping into this championship bout is capable of delivering a stoppage, making it a fight fans won't want to miss.
Somebody gonna get stopped. That's what I expect. Somebody wants to get stopped. You know what I mean? And I think Benavidez better be ready though, man. Because like I said, it's a 50-50 fight for me, man. You know what I mean? Because his style, Benavidez style, and then you got Yarde style. Benavidez like to put that pressure on you. Yarde can box, and then he'll fight you too sometimes. So I think that's going to be a tremendous fight, man. That might steal the show.
Benavidez went on to explain that fighting Benavidez is no easy task. He highlighted a potential flaw in Anthony Yarde, noting that he can tire relatively quickly. Enos advised Yarde to frustrate Benavidez by keeping the pressure, maintaining good distance, and most importantly, never losing control of the center of the ring. According to him, the key to beating Benavidez this time is to stay composed, frustrate him, and execute a smart, disciplined strategy throughout the fight.
There you go. If he get tired, it's over. It's over. It's in Benavidez' favor. You know what I mean? But he better not get tired.
How should Yarde fight Benavidez?
How should Yarde fight?
Yeah.
I would boxing. Boxing, boom, 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 set him up. You know what I mean? Soon he comes, get set, because you know he got to be set to throw punches.
Yeah.
So soon he gets set, tie him up, walk him to the center. Bing, 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 bing. Like, you know, my main thing is like frustration. Try to frustrate them. Once you frustrate them, they lose their cool. When they lose their cool, it's time to go. Try to take him out. You know what I mean?
Do you establish the stab early in the fight?
You got it. That's most important. That jab is most important.
Now, Tim Bradley is noticing the trap being set. He warned Anthony Yarde that this time, stepping into the ring with David Benavidez is like an insect walking right into a snare, and the explosive power of Benavidez will make it even worse. Bradley expressed concern that Yarde could tire even while putting up a strong fight, because he has never been tested in the deep waters where Benavidez has already proven himself. He went on to caution Yarde that the matchup he has chosen could be extremely dangerous, even career-defining, if he's not fully prepared.
You ever tread water, you know, in the pool? You know, if you can't tread water that well, you know what I'm talking about. You know, you treading water for a while, you start getting tired. Then your head start going underneath, man, and you trying to pop your head back up. That's exactly what's gonna happen to Yarde. You know, he gonna be fighting, but he gonna be getting drained and drained and drained. He gonna get beat on. He might have a few rounds where he have a little success, but again, it's gonna be like an insect getting trapped in a spider web and he's trying to break himself loose. That's exactly how it's gonna be.
Tim Bradley thinks David Benavidez is simply too much for Anthony Yarde and believes Yarde may have made a mistake trying to step up against him. He predicts Benavidez will deliver punishing shots, likely leaving knots in Yarde's head. While Bradley notes that both fighters are highly skilled and far from amateurs, what gives Benavidez the edge is his experience with world-class champions. He knows what it takes to beat anyone at the highest level.
Yeah. Benavidez gonna be all up in it, be putting knots on top of his head. Yeah, man, Benavidez too long, just the wrong style for him. You know, Yarde, decent boxer. The cool part about this is that both these guys don't really have an extensive amateur pedigree, you know. But Benavidez, man, he's been in the ring with a lot of champions. He's learned a lot from just in the gym alone, you know. And remember, he's one of the youngest fighters, I believe, at I think it was at 168 pounds. To ever win a world championship.
Meanwhile, Anthony Yarde is brushing off the criticism. He believes the experience he has gained is more than enough to prove his worth, having faced tough opponents before and taken valuable lessons from every fight. Yarde asserts that he has the grit and determination to beat David Benavidez, and no matter what it takes, he is confident that when the final bell rings, it will be him raising his hand as the winner. He guarantees that the world is about to witness one of the most thrilling fights of the year, as two top-notch fighters with exceptional abilities go head-to-head.
I can only take my experience that I'm getting in a positive way. And I just feel like I'll fight anybody. And each time I'm fighting these people, I'm getting better. And I personally feel like I'm going to beat David Benavidez. It's going to be a big upset. And at the end of the day, the crowd are going to be in for a treat, because the way both of us fight, you're guaranteed a good fight.
Anthony Yarde has emphasized that his approach has been realistic. On paper, he admits he is the clear underdog, and he acknowledges Benavidez's exceptional abilities. However, he notes that many of his past opponents have recognized his own skills, and he is determined to prove himself as part of the next generation of fighters. Yarde has always thrived in taking on highly rated opponents while putting on an unforgettable show, and this time is no different. He has promised to deliver a true war inside the ring against David Benavidez.
Do you know, I'm a realist. On paper, I should be a heavy underdog.
Okay.
You know, he's been world champion, and these are the things that keep me thriving. You know, I don't want to go in there and say, you know, I've got the power to knock him out. I can do this, I can do that. I want to be in that situation where it's like a dog, I need to come out of this. I need to get out of this. I feel like that's when you get the best performances out of me. But I think people that have watched my career, they know I can hit. You know, after I fought Beterbiev, he said I'm up next. After I fought Kovalev, he said I'm up next as well. But again, you know, Mexicans, their styles are very, very different. They're very, very different. And
David Benavidez has also acknowledged Anthony Yarde, but he's sounded the alarm ahead of the upcoming fight. Despite admitting that Yarde is a tremendous fighter, Benavidez asserts that he's fully aware of what Yarde brings and is more than ready for it, because in his view, a single shot can change the entire fight, and he's prepared to go to war if that's what Yarde wants.
He's a tremendous fighter. He has a lot of experience. This is his third time at a world title, so I know he's gonna leave it all on the line, you know, November 22nd, but like I said, you know, I like to go to war too. I'm not gonna back down from him, he's not gonna back down from me, so let's have some fun November 22nd. Let's give the people what they wanna see. Like I said, any shot could change the fight, so like I said, he wants to go to war, we're okay with that. Let's go to war.
Get ready, fight fans. Two explosive warriors, unmatched skills, and a showdown that could go either way. David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde is set to light up the ring. Who will rise, who will fall, and who will leave their mark in boxing history? Don't miss a second of the action. Hit that like button, subscribe, and join the conversation in the comments. This is one fight you absolutely cannot afford to miss.